Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk about how you can be successful in college. So for anyone who is already in college or planning to go to college or university, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to discuss how you can be successful in college. So I'm going to give you some tips, but this is going to be in a couple parts because I have a list of things that I have written down, and so I'm just going to go through some of them today. So we're going to call this part one, right? Part one, how to be successful in college. And so I'll probably go through maybe about 10 minutes or so of a couple of these, and then I'll try to break it up into videos so it's not too consuming and it's not all in one video and it's in different parts. So that's today's discussion: how to be successful in college. So this is specifically, if you've got kids in college, if you're planning on going to college, if you're in college, all that. So this is for you. All right. So on one of the first things on my list is you have to remember why you are in college in the first place, right? You have to remember why you're in college in the first place. So why did you come to college? I think one of the biggest mistakes that personally I saw as a student and as someone also who teaches, one of the biggest mistakes I've seen is some people were just kind of told you should go to college, and or it was just kind of like an automatic. So you're on to college now, and so a lot of times people didn't have a purpose. So they didn't come in with a purpose. Some people didn't come in knowing that this is why I am in college. And it's like if you're planning on going somewhere and and you don't know how to get there, then it could become very chaotic. So you want to go to the beach, but you have no idea the direction of getting to the beach, and that becomes a problem. So I would say, one thing, if you're planning on going to college, or if you're in college and you're struggling with whatever it is, even if it is with some kind of class or whatever the case is, kind of take a step back and ask yourself, why am I here in the first place? You need to answer that for yourself. Why am I in college? What is my purpose of going to college? Why do I want a college degree? What am I doing here? And write that down, itemize that out, write that down, and it helps to give yourself a clearer understanding, perhaps, of your purpose going forward, right? Of your purpose going forward. Because I feel like when you know your purpose, then life becomes a little bit easier. Not easy, life's not easy, but easier when you figure out what your purpose for something is. So why do you want to go to college? Right? What is your purpose? What is your goal? Figure that out. Try to make sense of that. It doesn't have to be perfect, by the way. That's another thing. People sometimes feel like they have to have perfect answers every time they go looking for something. And if it's not perfect and I don't feel completely comfortable with it, then it must be wrong. That's not how life works, right? A lot of times you stumble into things that are supposed to be your blessing, right? But just kind of figure out, why are you there? Why are you in college? That is number one. That's the first thing you got to do. And write that down. Sometimes for some of you, that's motivation. Every morning when you get up, you see it on your board. Some people like to put stuff on their wall. Some people want to see it, on the mirror, a little piece of paper on the mirror, whatever the case is, because it's a reminder of why you're getting up so early to go to a class, or why you're staying up so late to write a paper or to study for an exam, or all that sort of stuff. It's a reminder of your purpose. And so sometimes people say you need to write these things down, put it on your refrigerator, the top of your computer, a little sticky note, or tape it on there so it doesn't come off or whatever. Anything that reminds you of why you're doing what you're doing. And I think it helps to make the journey a little bit easier. All right, so that's number one. That's the first thing you got to do. All right, so know that you are in college, right? Know that you are in college. I'm going to take it from there. Know that you are in college. One thing I realize that is really important is your advisor. That person who's your advisor. Yeah, that's a very important person. Number two, that's your advisor. It's good if you can build a relationship with one person for your tenure at that college or university where you're at. That's your go-to person who helps to keep you on track. So your academic advisor, right? That person helps to keep you on track. Make sure that you're taking all of your classes, right? Make sure that you're taking all of your classes, the classes that you're supposed to be taking. And then if you're planning on transferring and you knowing, let's say you're going to a community college, right? And you're planning on going to a university or whatever the case is, then you already know that this is the university I'm going to, then this person can help you scout along the way, help you look for perhaps the proper university you should be transferring to based on the major you want to go into, or just kind of help you scout for scholarships or this or whatever the case is. Kind of keeps you up to date with stuff, helps you make sure that you're taking the right classes that are going to transfer as well. So your academic advisor is someone who really does keep you on track. So personal story. I remember my academic advisor. Yes, I remember her. She was great. And this was for my second degree. For my first degree, my first degree is an associate degree. And it was kind of just, there were only like two advisors at the small school that I went to. So, they kind of just, you kind of knew what you were going to take for the most part. It was pretty straightforward. But when I got to university now to do my first undergrad degree, I had an advisor all the way through for my first undergrad degree, my second undergrad degree that I pursued. It was the same person, and she kept me on track. We would go over the catalog. We made sure that I was staying on track for what I wanted to do. Make sure I was signing up for the right classes. I would double check with her. It really did make a huge difference, right? It really did make a huge difference. So I would say make sure you connect with an advisor and stay in touch with that person. That's number two. The other person you need to build relationship with or people are your professors. Yes. I had two of in community college I had one. One of my professors turned out to be kind of sort of like a mentor to me that I can go and talk to about personal things or whatever the case is. They didn't have a mentoring program. It was just that this person, it was a she at the community college. She turned out to be someone I could really go and really have a conversation with, right? Miss Lyles, right? I could really have a conversation with her about all different types of stuff. And she was just a good guide and counselor. In university, I had for my first my undergraduate studies, basically, I had two really good professors, and I had a lot of other good professors that were my friends as well too, that I would actually hang out with. But the thing about having these professors as your friends too, and what helped me was I couldn't afford college books when I was in college. I don't know about you, but I was poor. I barely came to America with any money. And so my professors almost, not almost all of them, but a lot of them loaned me their textbooks. They loaned me their textbooks. And they would let me know when they needed back their textbook. So if Professor so-and-so had to teach a couple more of these classes for the day, she'll tell me come by the office. Or she'll leave it with the secretary or whatever the case is or whatever. If they had an extra copy, because a lot of times they had an extra copy, I went straight to my professors and I would introduce myself even before the semester had started. And I would go to them and I would tell them, look, I'm in college, I'm willing to learn, but I'm broke. I know it's not your problem, but I just want you to know it's the truth. I did it. I want you to know that I just don't have the resources, I don't have the money, but I'm willing to learn. Is there anything, if you have an extra book, I can borrow it or whatever the case is? None of them said no. None of them said no. Because they all admired that I was upfront, I was bold, I know what I wanted, and I was also going to be a good student. And so you're not going to just lend me your book and I not obviously read the book, because they know I have the book, so I know I have to read the book and be doing good on the exam. But it really built up really good relationships for when it came to the point where I needed letters of recommendations, oh my goodness, the letters of recommendation were absolutely just, they were amazing because they got to know me. Then, oh, he got an A in my class. It was beyond that. They actually got to know who I was. And so they were able to recommend me for scholarships or whatever the case is. And it was just, I was able to build up some really good relationships. So get to know your professors. And then it also, they'll make more time for you outside of their office hours to explain things, to go through. It works, I'm telling you. Get to know who your professors are. All right, so that is where we are. That's number 3. All right, next one is study groups, right? This is the last one we'll put inside for this video. Study groups. Study groups are great, especially for subject areas where you're not strong. If you can find people who are like-minded, and when I say like-minded, they actually want to do good in school, right? They actually want to do good. They're not just showing up and, oh, well, if I get a C, I get a C. No, no. They actually want to learn and do good in school, right? If you can get in a group like that, even if it's just one other person, right? Especially for the areas where you're not strong in, like mathematics. I know a lot of people hate math. So for management science and statistics and algebra with calculus for business and what are those other crazy quantitative type courses that I took, all those math classes that I took, I was in groups for them. And we got together, and it was one thing for the professors to explain something, but a lot of times when you get around your friends who were just, some of them are just smarter than you, and that's okay, right? And they're working these problems and they're explaining them, and you're working them as well, and all that type of stuff. It just really helps to make it a whole lot easier. Like when I was studying microbiology, right? I got in groups as well. That's a tough cookie right there. But working in a group and studying with like-minded people, right? People who actually want to do something. They're not just showing up to class, but they actually want to pass the class and they care about their grade. You get with a group of people like that and it could make a huge difference and impact on your college experience and help you pass a class. So those are the first couple of tips I'm going to offer. As I'm saying, I'm going to break up the videos, so there'll be more videos to come, right? And I'll offer you more tips, but this is part 1, how to be successful in college. Look out for the other parts to come. Don't forget to subscribe. Please turn on your post notifications. Please leave your comments, right? Please don't forget to share the videos. Please hit the like button. And until next time, peace.